Pioneer fans, Bryant Cook, and today I am recording my very favorite Pioneer deck, Lotus Field Combo. I actually released a video about 3 weeks ago that you could check out in the card above. And in that video, I said that it was the best version of Lotus Field Combo that I've ever played. I still think that remains true, but I've made some small updates for the post-Thalia Guardian of Thraben world. And the reason that we needed to make those changes was I felt like our deck wasn't good enough at beating those mono-white aggressive Thalia decks. And the big change here is Fading Hope. If you're unaware of what Fading Hope is, it's essentially unsummon with some slight upside. Well, why is Fading Hope good? Well, these mono-white aggro decks, they play things like Dauntless Bodyguard that make Thalia indestructible, and then there's Selfless Spirit. There's even a 3-mana creature that you can sacrifice and all of your creatures get indestructible. There's a lot of those effects. Fading Hope gets around all of those. And even if they're not playing the mono-white deck, Winota has been playing Thalia and has things like Ranger class to make their creatures larger. So Fading Hope gets around all of this. No indestructible, no getting larger. It just covers it all. And it can also be boarded in more matchups. Like the red-green aggro deck is picked up quite a bit in Pioneer, and Fading Hope is good there. So big fan. I would strongly recommend you check it out. And one of the reasons that I love it is, I've mentioned this in my previous video, but when you're copying Lotus Field with your Thespian Sage, you'll often have one extra blue mana. Well, Fading Hope bounces a Winota quite nicely for 1 mana, and then you get to copy your land, untap, and do your thing. Same thing with 4 copies of Mystical Dispute. You get to use it very similarly, where you get to copy your Lotus Field and counter something. That's the big idea. I actually ran something pretty similar to this list in the PTQ, but I was testing, I played a lot of Pioneer before that, and ran into a bunch of the red-black mid-range deck in leagues, and I decided that I was going to add in Leyline of Sanctity and ended up regretting it, and I only played 2 copies of Mystical Dispute. It was such a mistake that right after that event, I went back up to 4 copies of Mystical Dispute. So this is what I ran in the PTQ for the most part. Excuse me. And in the PTQ, I chose not to run Thassa's Oracle. Someone in the previous videos, YouTube comments mentioned just running Niv-Mizzet is the win condition because you can use Valakut Awakening to just machine gun post Pure. I did that in that video, but I thought that maybe I wouldn't have enough mana in actual practice to consistently do that with Niv-Mizzet. Turns out that they were just correct in that you can Niv-Mizzet people 100% of the time. And I never actually ended up needing Thassa's Oracle in my testing, so I ended up just cutting Thassa's Oracle. I added a second copy of Niv-Mizzet, so that way you can side one in, and it's just been amazing. So if you're interested in testing that, I would drop your Thassa's Oracles almost immediately and just try the double Niv-Mizzet. It's very, very strong, and you're going to like it. To dig through time, I tried cutting it for my the PTQ run. It was the 3rd copy of Leyline of Sanctity, and I directly lost a match due to not having the dig in the board. Because you can't always peer, and you can't always wish in a Niv, and dig is just a great card. So yeah, don't cut dig. And one of the nice things about Fading Hope, by the way, and I forgot to mention this, it comes in against Mono-Red because it can slow down Mono-Red, and it bounces Eidolon of the Great Revel through Boros Charm. And that's why we're down to 1 anger. I haven't been loving anger against the burn decks because they've just been protecting their Eidolon against me, and I'm not really interested in playing the game where I have to guess if my anger is going to resolve. So Fading Hope can come in there, bounces Eidolon, it can bounce a Swift Spear to slow them down. It does a lot. I'm actually a really big fan of Fading Hope, and if you're not testing it, you're going to love it once you do, I promise. That's the deck tech. I think I've covered everything I have to say here. A little bit redundant. It's mostly just about how good Fading Hope is. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comment section down below. I do try to answer everything, so definitely go check that out. And if you want to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Those things are free and easy to do. They really do support the channel. They get us into the YouTube algorithm. I am 50 people away from hitting my 6,000 member goal for this year. So if you want to support me, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me to hit 6K this month. So please, please, please do that. But if you've already subscribed, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. And in there, you can unlock, member perks, a bunch of sweet stuff. Our Discord is free, but if you become a member, you unlock the member section where I've been posting early deck lists, thoughts that I'm having. I spoiled Fading Hope in there. So if you want the secret tech, you have to become a member, sync your YouTube account to your Discord account, and gain access to that members Discord. But on top of that, you also get sideboard guides. You know, what are they called? Oh my god, I'm blanking on words. Donation decks. There we go. Sorry, I'm a little disoriented today. Uh, but there's also just tons of sweet stuff in there. And then if you want to support us in any other way, you can go to theepicstorm.com/donation decks. And there you can submit your combo deck to be featured here on this very YouTube channel. We primarily play Lotus Combo here. If you want to see another Pioneer combo deck, you have to submit it. We also have theepicstorm.com/shop where you can get card singles as well as store merchandise, including our mini token pack to help you play Lotus Combo and other combo decks more efficiently. So definitely go check those out. All right, that's my intro. That's all I've got. I'll see you in match number 1. Let's Lotus Combo some fools. Match number 1, we are on the play against Claudio, who plays a lot of Niv-Mizzet decks. So here I have a land with Valakut Awakening, double Lotus Field, but no second land. I think, unfortunately, this is just a mulligan. And this hand's pretty good. I think you're supposed to bottom the Grazer just because we don't have too many lands to dump into play. And this isn't really a matchup where the speed of Grazer matters. So we'll keep this and get rid of the Grazer. Okay. So let's start off by just playing the Ketria, passing. Turn 2. You have to make a decision between Shimmer and Scrying. I guess maybe you don't. It's probably fine. This makes me think that they might not be Niv-Mizzet. Ooh, that was a good one. Okay, so now what we can do is just Sylvan Scrying for another copy of Thespian. Because we're going to sacrifice this Thespian stage to the Lotus Field. So it just makes everything work a little bit easier. Okay, yeah, this is definitely not Niv-Mizzet. I think I might be able to eat a counterspell with this scrying. So I'm going to play it. So they're Spirits. Spirits is a tough matchup. So we're going to see how this goes. I do have 4 Dispute in my board and double Niv to board in. So hopefully that helps. But it's not the easiest matchups. And there's the bird. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do here is cycle the Vizier. And then Shimmer plus stage this. Ooh, I like the extra strings. Okay. Then Shimmer. Take Wish. Alright, so next turn we do have Wish into Peer, but we have to be able to beat interaction basically. So Lofty Denial or called Spellqueller, those creatures. And they're bringing the pain. So another Supreme Phantom. And they have Spellqueller up at the moment. Or a Lofty Denial. Draw. Okay. Start off on a Hidden Strings. That resolved. Try the yes, yes, no. Alright, so I have 8 mana floating. Plus 6 is 14 mana. Here's 7 plus Wish Wish would be 13, and that would only leave me 1 mana floating, assuming that they tried to counter a Wish. So what I think I'm going to do here is Balaged back the Hidden Strings. And what this will allow me to do is have extra mana floating. Because I imagine they're going to counter a Wish. So this whole Balaged for Hidden Strings thing, it made a single mana. Okay, now we untap, and let's cast Wish. So I'm guessing this is going to be countered. And it resolved. Okay. So I have 6 mana floating, 6 here. So what I think I can do is I can play Wish into Pure floating 1 and I still have a land drop. That's 9 mana. Yeah. This should work. Okay, let's play Pure. Target me. 2 mana floating. Sweet. Alright, and now what we do is we untap with Vizier. We still have a land we can play as well. Okay, and let's play Brawl. Cast Hidden Strings. We still have a Mystical Dispute up as well. Well, that resolved. That's good. Hidden Strings again. Okay. I think we should play Niv-Mizzet. Tap this for red and cast Pore. If they counter this with Spell Queller, I can just kill them with Valakut Awakening. Okay. And Pore. Guard the Lotus Field. Cast another Pore. And our opponent's conceded. Nice. Alright, so we won the most difficult game in my opinion. Now we get to do the whole Niv-Mizzet thing. We don't want to board out our Grazers. I like the idea of slowing them down. I also like Mystical Dispute here. I think it's pretty effective. I think boarding and Fading Hope isn't really what you want to do against the Flash creature deck, so I would not be looking to do that. But something you can do here, and I've thought a lot about this, and I'm not sure if it's like the best thing ever, but we have 67 cards in our deck right now. I like Grazers, I like Nivs, I like these disputes. Well, what has to go? And it's not going to be a popular answer. I think you should actually just cut the wish package, like just board them all out and just accept that you have double Niv in the main deck to win. And now you need 3 cards to also leave the deck. I think you could probably shave a Brawl. You could probably shave a Grazer. And then I've talked to some experts here. So Andre Sagara, if you're unfamiliar with him, he has an entire YouTube channel dedicated to Blue-White Spirits. You should definitely go give him a look. Rearranged AS if you're interested in Blue-White Spirits. But excuse me. Dre says that I should board out Peer into the Abyss here and just do 2 and 2. I don't hate that, and I think that's what I'm going to try right now. Sorry, I ate dinner right before I recorded, and I feel like there's something in the back of my throat. Too much info, I'm aware, but thank you for watching anyway. This seems like a reasonable hand. I'm going to keep this. Right, Hallowed Fountain. Mausoleum Wonder. That son of a gun. Yep. That was a good draw. Okay. So they can counter my Mystical Dispute at the moment. Only 1 damage, not that bad. Double Dispute. Love it. I'm fine with only taking 1 damage. If they're just going to hit me for 1, that's fine. I think the games where Mausoleum Wonder are scary, whereas where they just like pound you into the ground quickly with them. So lead on Mausoleum Wonder, and then they'll flash in Rattle Chains, and then they'll flash in the Spirit Lord, and before you know it, you're just buried. Okay, I'll go to 17. Not afraid of no ghost. Sure. I could copy my Sanctum here, but I'm not going to. They're kind of color screwed right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play my field, copy it, and then have like double dispute backup for when I try to go bananas. It doesn't make Mausoleum Wonder any better, or any, you know, like less good against us, I guess I'm trying to say here, but it is still like fine. And here's a Thespian stage. I'm at 14. I don't feel like I need to win immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass, copy a Lotus Field, and cycle this Ketria Triumph. Because I really need this Valakut Awakening to be a good action spell for me. We go to 11. Our opponent's just stuck on mana. Turn 6, only having 2 lands. They probably kept a 2-lander. Alright, so now we're going to copy our field. And then let's cycle the Triumph. Vizier. I like Vizier. Vizier is just Desperate Ritual that draws a card. It's amazing. And down a Queller. Alright, let's cycle. Untap the field. And draw a card. That doesn't actually do anything meaningful here. And I could pay 3 mana to cycle Triumph. But I don't think that's actually what I want to be doing. So instead what I'm going to do is just cast this Valakut Awakening. And I'm looking to bottom these 3 cards. So that means that Awakening's going to draw 4 cards because it draws 1 for. Okay. That was pretty good. I'm going to cycle another Vizier here. And then try to play Bro. Okay, still have 6 open, man. So this Shimmer like needs to hit an action spell. Is it Niv-Mizzet a reasonable action spell? I feel like it's got a floating 4 mana. Yes, I would love to untap, thank you. Niv-Mizzet. We will cast this. Niv-Mizzet's so good against Spirit. And a concession. Look at that. 1-0. Round number 1. We took a weird sideboard plan of boarding out our wishes, but it worked. We never even needed the double dispute, but I'll take it. No need to, pretend that I'm a genius. It's just like something I'm trying. I don't even know if this is correct. If you think it's stupid, feel free to let me know why. I'm always interested in learning. So that's enough of that. I'll see you in match number 2. All right, on the play for match number 2. So Valakut Awakening is a red source to cast Wish, which can eventually get Lotus Field. We have a stage, but I'd have to hit running lands in order for this hand to work. I think I'm just going to mulligan. This is better. We can bottom a Pier. And we have turn 1 Grazer into Spire Bluff Canal. Turn 2, play Lotus Field Floating Mana, Sylvan Scrying for stage. Sometimes just good disciplined mulliganing decisions pays off. Let's see what our opponent's. Well, this hand's certainly going to be better against Basic Mountain. Ugh, I didn't need that. Sylvan Scrying. Get stage, play a field. What we want to draw now is Hidden Strings. How dare you play with Fire Me? Alright. Pass the turn. The second Lotus Field was not an ideal. There's Eidolon. Kind of a bummer. Grazer's not a great draw either. I'd take a Wish. Wish, kill the Eidolon. Well, now I need to draw a Wish. I could also draw Blast Zone, but it's a little bit slow. Draw. Just trying to think here. I could play Pier, go to 9 life, they'd attack me to 7. And then Wish into Anger doesn't do it. I think I just have to pass. I need to draw Wish or Thespian, or Wish or Sylvan Scrying for Blast Zone. Like, these draw steps have just been terrible. I just have to pass. Okay, so now we're gonna go to 14. Like, do they just have all lands in hand? What's going on? Looks like they might be mono-red too, or their color screwed. Okay, well, I like Pore as a draw. Pass that. Heard this great. I have 1 mana floating. I can Balaged back 4, and I'm going to take 4 off that going to. Well, it's not a draw. It's a. Let's Pore again. Let's cycle the Vizier. Problem is, even if I hit Wish for Anger now, I'm in range of just dying to a burn spell. Balaged. So I would go to 6 by casting Balaged. So there's a crazy thought that I'm having here, which is, what if my opponent has nothing in their 4-card hand, right? Like, let's play to this hypothetical out. I go Hidden Strings, Pier to 1 life, draw half my deck. And then if Blast Zone's in the top half, I can cycle a Vizier, untap it, and then Blast Zone for 2. But I would need my opponent's hand to have nothing. It's sort of a risky line. I'm aware of that. I literally died to a Light Breeze. But I think it's the line I need to take in order to win this. Yes. Yes. No. Okay. And strings. I'm aware that I'm dead to literally anything. Play with Fire Me. You got it. Okay, so we lost game number 1 to burn. That's fine. We're going to board in these Fading Hopes. So something I've been doing is just boarding out all of the Piers and trying to be really lean and leaning on Wish. You do have to find one more slot to take out. Um, it's tough because like Brawl dies a lot of the time, but you do really want one. I think it's supposed to be a Brawl. I'm just making your deck really low to the ground. I don't know why I organized it. Or if I converted mana. So Piers are a little bit risky. You still probably want one in order to win, but you don't want to draw them and sit on it like you did in my opening, or like we did in my opening hand. This is fine. We don't have a blue source for Fading Hope, but we have, you know, Thespian Stage, Lotus Field, all that good. I would like to draw like a green source on turn 2 for the Sylvan Scrying or any land actually, because we do need one more land in order to make this hand function. There's our mountain draw. Come on, deck. I need another land. I do have the Sylvan Scrying to get third Thespian Stage, but I don't want to be put in that position. That's where we're going. I'm going to have to Sylvan Scrying next turn for the other Thespians. What I can do is I can cycle Vizier, Scrying, copy. I have to take 2 off this for no reason. Right here. Alright, so we're going to cycle Vizier. Just like a waste of a Vizier when I could have drawn this Botanical Sanctum. Draw. I mean, that was a good drawing. I'm going to go to 16. Stage. Now we copy stage. I found that Fading Hope does make the burn matchup a lot better. Just because now you have 4 1-mana cards to bounce this idol on instead of having to like take off entire turns to answer it. So game 1 admittedly looked kind of bad. I'm not going to pretend that I like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. But in the post-board games, Fading Hope, it just changes the fundamental turn quite a bit. And that's what I like about it. All right, so let's start on just bouncing the idol on and going to 10. All right, and now I get a Scry. I don't really need another Fading Hope. We can put that on the bottom. And let's cast this. Discard the Lotus. Now let's pour again. That was good. I think I just... I should have a Pore here. Yes, yes. 6 mana floating. And in strings again. Yes, yes. No. 10 mana. Let's cast Wish. I'm going to leave a red float. Add 3 black. Cast Pore. Woot woot. 6 mana floating. Easy game. Cycle of Vizier. Okay. Have a Brawl in there? I do have a Brawl in here. How lovely. Tap. Brawl just makes things super easy, which is why I love playing it. Wish. 4 mana. Cast Pore. And tap these. Discard a land. And then hidden strings. So much mana. And we can play Niv-Mizzet. I have 23 cards in hand. Let's cast the Valakut Awakening and end the game. Save targets at them. Deal. Let's start at the end, and now we have to click 23 times. I guess we could click 15. Alright, so I've clicked a bunch of cards. I kept the other Valakut Awakening in my hand just in case I decided that I needed to shoot them for another 20-something amount of damage. Alright, and that was game number 2. Now we go into game number 3 against Burn. I'm just going to resubmit the same list. This seemed fine to me. Okay. No Lotus Field, but we do have Shimmer. No Fading Hope. Do they keep? They mulligan to 6. We'll try it. We also have Blast Zone, which is theoretically an answer for Eidolon. Trying was a good one. Second Mountain into Eidolon. Classic. Alright. So we're going to take 2 damage here, go search up our copy of Lotus Field. And pass the turn. Roiling Vortex. That card doesn't matter that much. We're not trying to gain life here, so whatever. 16, I'm going to auto yield to this. Draw. I should just play the Blast Zone, I think, and add a pass. Giant. Okay, well, they're making their clock pretty fast. Well, the 13, 12. I'm going to see if they misplay for some reason. Yeah, 4 cards. Well, that's kind of scary because that's going to put me to 8 next turn, and I'm going to win. So we need to sacrifice this now. Or I'm sorry, this is going to deal 8, and I'm going to go to 4. That's what I was. And if I target this with Fading Hope, I take a bunch of damage. This would actually kill me if I target it with Fading Hope because it's going to put me to. Or, no, my bad. It's not double. It's 2+. My bad. All right, so I don't think we can win here. Float mana, play Lotus Field, sacrifice these, and let's cycle the Vizier. Untap field. Draw. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. So colorless blue brawl. I guess if I hit Hidden Strings off Shimmer, I can start to look at possibly doing something. I did not. Okay. Looks like we lost. Couldn't find a Fading Hope this game. And that's going to do it. Okay. 1-1 to Mono-Red. Round number 3, we're on the draw. We've opened up a hand that we just cannot keep. We need a mulligan. And here we have something kind of similar. Like, I love drawing Lotus Field, but this hand, unfortunately, like, we don't have the ability to abuse Grazer. This Lotus Field's a little bit awkward. Double Brawl. Like, we just have to go to 5. This is the best hand we've seen. So I'm going to keep this. Probably get rid of the second stage. And probably the pathway. All right. So our goal here is to use Shimmer to find Lotus Field. Balaged's sort of like an afterthought, if I'm being completely honest. Like, its role in this game doesn't matter yet. Okay, they're probably on Phoenix. Good draw. Passing the turn. And on turn 2, we're going to attempt to Sylvan Scry. I'm going to just jam it. If it gets countered, we can always Balaged it back. Sylvan Scrying, do you resolve? It does not resolve. Alright, so next turn we can Balaged back the gate's usually only like a 1 of, so sometimes it happens. They found an island. We're gonna play stage and then use Balaged to get back Scry. Pass the turn. You're gonna opt in. Thing in the ice. So this is probably going to flip next turn, assuming that they decide to cast a bunch of cards. Weird, they put an opt to the graveyard. Play the Scry and go get Lotus Field. Play field, sacrifice 2 lands. We cannot afford to copy this turn, unfortunately. We just have to pass. Next turn, we can copy Lotus Field, and we can also cycle Vizier to play a Shimmer. But if they flip the thing in the ice here, there's a risk of us dying. Because I'm at least 2 turns away from even trying to win. That's spell number 1. They need 2 more spells to flip the thing in the ice. So they have 3 mana, 5 cards, and they didn't flip Thing. Interesting. Let's cycle the Vizier. And then I'm going to cast Shimmer. Shimmer a possibility. I don't want any of those. Yeah, I really don't want any of those. But what I could do is take the land aside. I'm just going to play it. Screw it. It's fine. There's no, like, I could have taken an untapped green source, but, like, the thing in the ice, if it mattered, would bounce the Grazer anyway. So this line is fine. They still have 5 cards in hand, 1 card away from flipping thing in the ice. Played a tap Canal. Main deck Anger. Okay. Not very good here. And now they only have Mystical Dispute up if they even have a main deck copy. Most do not. So that's the fear here is a main deck copy. And wow, what a great draw. So let's just untap our field, draw. And I know that I don't have to play around Lightning Axe because they didn't tap, or I guess they needed red. Yeah, there's nothing they could have done about that. I'm gonna Shimmer. Here's a good one. Hidden Strings. It looks like they're just Fs. Black, blue. Have a little bit of mana floating. Wow, no Baral. Okay. Or no Viziers. Cast the Hidden Strings on tapper, 2 copies of Lotus Field. And play a Pore. Love drawing card. Okay, and another Pore. Maybe I just missed that Vizier. Maybe I scrolled by it. I don't know. Try to land. There's a Brawl. Why not? Let's cast another Pore. You can't stop me. Let's... I probably want to make mana with these Viziers. Cycle. Untap. Cycle. Untap. Draw. So now we can tap this for red mana, play Wish. Play a Niv. Let's find one of those Valakut Awake. Cast it. Auto yield. Okay. Now we just have to click a bunch. Alright, this should get the job done. Any order. And it looks like we've just taken game number 1 from the best deck in... Woot woot! Now we get to board in 4 copies of Mystical Dispute. I don't like boarding in Niv. They have so many ways of answering Niv that I think it's just unreliable. They have the Lightning Axe that I mentioned. They play 3 of those in the main deck to kill Niv-Mizzet. But then on top of that, they get to board into Aether Gust, and it's just not very reliable. So I'm not a big fan. I think that the real answer here is they just board out the Grazer. And you might be thinking, but Bryant, Grazer's so good at blocking Phoenix. True-ish? So it dies while blocking Phoenix. So it gets 1 solid block in. And against Thing in the Ice, it gets bounced. So is it really that good? I don't think so. I think that this is a much better game. And here we have, tons of mana. A few of the best cards in our deck. I'm going to keep this. Okay. Do I want to play... I think I should play tough. Alright, I'm going to play the Ketrias. I think that the Balagad Recovery has a little bit more value because I can use it to get back Pores later. I was kind of torn on which one to play here, but I think getting back Pore is better than... Let's see if they'll counter a Sylvan Scroll. Counter it. I'm going to try again next turn. Start a course. Start an expressive iteration. That's kind of... I think I want to keep this stage, so instead I'm going to play out the Balagad and Scry. I want the other side. So I could get another copy of stage, but between all these stages in this Lotus Field, that's 9 mana to allow me to play around Mystical Disputes. I'm not going to need 12 mana, so I'd rather just get something that's like, in case I end up fizzing. Consider another expressive iteration. Draw. Let's float mana here. Play Lotus Field. Copy Lotus Field. And we're going to sacrifice 2. I love playing the Lotus Field versus blue deck matchup. It's so much fun. Okay, that's an Narset. Sure. Draw. I am going to just wish for Fry here and blast that Narset out of it. Can't Mystical Dispute it. If they have a Spell Pierce, I can... Okay. Get out of here, Narset. What did they get? Stopped. It's not going to save you here. And we'll just place. Alright, so if I need to kill another Narset, because lists typically play 2, we have a Blast Zone and then Balaged Recovery back for us. That's the game. Okay, they're casting something. Aggressive Iteration. Better. And they're going to cast it. They mill another... No, they kept it, my bad. Moving to clean up. Sure. There's a Phoenix. Balaged was a good draw here. Instead of playing into whatever, I'm just going to copy a few Lotus Fields right now. I just want to be able to make sure that I don't lose to Miscute. So much mana. I guess I don't need to do this in my main phase because I could be bluffing my own Mystical Disputes, but I want them to tap out, so it's fine. Technically, I could not be lazy and do it on their end step or whatever, but it doesn't really. But we have quad Lotus Field. 12 mana versus 5 mana. Aggressive Iteration. Sulfur Falls, okay, so now they have 4 mana. 8 cards in hand. Thing in the ice, alright. So they either have 1 hard counter up or double Mystical Dispute. I think we're going to be able to beat. So let's start on a Pore with the pages. Test it. What? Do they have Delirium? Sorcery, creature, instant, Planeswalker. They do have Delirium. Wow. I think I'm supposed to respond here. As Veilcut Awakening. So the reason I want to respond here is if I let this resolve, this gets stripped from my hand, I can at least put Pore on the bottom while trying to draw into a copy of Mystical Dispute. We're going to put all 4 of these on the bottom. I have 4 Disputes in my deck, so I'd like to hit one here. I get to draw 5 cards. And I redrew another Pore. Ugh. That stinks. Yep. That was a little bit devastating. Certainly hurt. I'm going to try to Shimmer here. If I get hit by Mystical Dispute, it happens. And it's going to happen here. So the reason that I'm okay with it happening is next turn I need to be able to Wish into Peer because they just took out all the card advantage in our deck. So I realized that it was a possibility. I didn't completely forget about Mystical. Man, Invasive Surgery was a beating there. Wonder if I should board in a Niv. There is a way of beating Mystical Dispute. It's very difficult, but it's possible. You would put a Brawl into play, resolve a Peer, and then just like essentially you would Peer them a bunch and then attack with Brawl. Or just cast so many Peers that they die. It's just very difficult to do. But you'd basically have to just Balaged back, Peer over Peer over Start a course, okay. Where did this must oh no, they delved it away with crew. Their opponent has 7 cards on hand and 4. Not loving the spot we're in. Okay, now would be a good time for me to draw one of my 4 copies of Mystical. There we go. If you complain enough, good things will happen. Just a fact. Like laws or dinosaurs. Alright. So let's cast Peer. Our opponent with their super big brain will try to negate this and we'll miss. And it resolved! Okay. So we're going to cycle Vizier. Untap. Draw. Cycle Vizier. Untap. Draw. Play a blue source. Let's play a Brawl. And now we're going to attempt to cast a Hidden Strings, untapping 2 Lotus. Right, and let's cycle another Vizier. Okay. So our goal now that we've drawn half our deck and we have a bunch of mana, is we need to protect the Niv-Mizzet once we cast it. Okay, so let's tap for red here. I've used one Valakut Awakening. I think I just have to shimmer. And if they have a Fry, I can't counter Fry. But if it's just like Lightning Axe, I can beat them. I have 6 cards. Looks like Shimmer might resolve here. You dead, friend. Yes, Valakut Awakening. Fry. Oh, Lightning Axe. Okay, well that's not going to resolve, so it doesn't matter. Physical Dispute. And if they dispute back, we have a dispute. Okay. I don't need to draw a card with Brawl's ability, so no. I think the guys can take account of that. And now this. I'll keep the hidden strings around. I'm also going to keep the pair of mystical disputes. So this should be at least 14 damage. It looks like more than 14. And now we just deal them a bunch of damage. Blammo! 2-1 over the best deck in Pioneer. 2 more rounds left to go. Stick around, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, 4th match. Our opponent has revealed a Lurrus. We have a Grazer, which tends to be pretty good against Lurrus decks, but we don't actually have a Lotus Field or a Stage. We do have this Shimmer to help us a little bit. I think this hand could end up being risky, but I also think the upside of early Grazer and a Shimmer is worth. Alright, so they're on Black-White Auras, a deck that I have not seen a lot of my last few times playing Pioneer. I like the Brawl draw. That's fine by me. But what I would also like is drawing a Lotus Field. Or even an untapped land, to be honest, like a Thespian stage, because then I could play Brawl into Shimmer, and that would be very, very... Okay, main deck Thoughtseize. Wow, that's not what I remember. That might be spicy. I thought that was a Sideboard card. They're supposed to take the Shimmer here. See if they do it. They did. Alright, so I'm going to probably, excuse me, play Brawl here. And I drew the stage, so if I had kept the Shimmer, I could have had Brawl into Shimmer. But right now, next turn I can use Hidden Strings as a bad ritual. So what I can do is I can untap 2 lands and play Pore. Like I said, it's not a good ritual. I can also possibly put the Hidden Strings on Brawl. And this creature's getting pretty large and in charge, so I'm going to take 5 here. So I don't need to waste the Hidden Strings. I have 1 card. Alright, I'm just going to Lotus Field. Almost a Lotus Field. And we can discard Shimmer. Play Scrying, go get Field. Next turn, we're going to be looking to combo. Probably going to throw the Grazer in front of the creature this to block. Yikes, that's a big creature. Another Selfless. Throw the body in front. So the second creature does matter here because it means that I can't Cipher onto Brawl very well. But that shouldn't end up mattering. We'll sacrifice these 2 lands. Copy our Lotus Field. Play Hidden Strings. And the Balaged Recovery was secretly an amazing draw. Because when you have Balaged Strings Brawl, it's essentially like having Cabal Ritual. It just makes so much mana. So when you have Brawl plus Hidden Strings, it's plus 5 mana, which is just insane. Well, the Balaged is still plus 2. You're spending 3 mana in order to make 6. So it's really powerful. Alright, so I have 6 mana. Our opponent got Boarding Conceded. Oh, they knew that I had Peer. That's right. They knew that I had Peer. Okay, well, Fading Hope is going to be really good here, so we're definitely going to board that in. The question is, what do we board out? I like Grazer. They have Discard. Peer's actually not that bad here. So I can't help but wonder if this is another matchup where we're supposed to board out Wish. Just board in Niv-Mizzet or 2. So let's try boarding out Wish. And then like shave a Brawl, shave a Peer. Let's try this out. Like, something that I do is I board differently all the time just to like get a feel of how things are, because I think if you only board one way, you never learn anything. So this whole wish kick that I'm on is something I'm just trying recently to see if it's better than sticking to these old conventions that might not be good anymore. Anyway, enough preaching. I think that this hand is fun. Veilcut Awakening is a land. We have this to dig for Shimmer. We have Fading Hope if their creature is large very early. Draw. That was also very good, because now we just have guaranteed Lotus. Okay. Ram. Ouch. Draw. Let's go get Lotus. So next turn, I am most likely looking to Fading Hope a large creature plus Sentinel's Eyes. The problem with Fading Hope a large creature now is the fact that they're drawing cards for every enchantment they play, so it's not actually card disadvantage. We're gonna take 7 here. And Fading Hope now's a more interesting line because they can't protect it. So we'll bounce Ram. We don't need another Niv-Mizzet. And play the Lotus. Pass the turn. Caves. They have 4 cards in hand. One of them is a Let's see. I don't know what the pick is here. Apparently it's Brawl. Ram, 2 cards in hand. If I draw an untapped land, I think I can play Niv-Mizzet. I go to draw. Not an untapped land. But let's cycle the Vizier. That's 4 mana. There should definitely be an Niv-Mizzet. So something I need to know here is if I play the tap land, do I still have enough mana? Because I would like to play this untapped next turn to Pore, which is very relevant. So if I play this tapped, I can tap this and go up to 4 mana. These untap and I gain 2 mana, which is enough to play Niv-Mizzet. Assuming that the colors work. I think that they do. So tap this for blue. I mean, it makes sense. I hope I'm not messing this. Yeah, this definitely works. Yes, yes. No. Red. Blue. Niv-Mizzet. And now next turn I can untap and play Pore and machine gun down one of the creatures. They have 4 cards in hand. Not nothing. Sentinel's Eyes. Stonecoil Serpent. Multicolored is actually very important against the net. What a good draw. Wow. Let's get rid of this. I guess we're probably going to kill both this turn. So this is 5 mana. 4. Auto yield. So 1 damage to that. Draw 3. Have these. Guard the canal. 1. 1. 1. And now the blowout. Fading Hope. Now we can just keep that on top. So I'm gonna like sort of like mini combo here. And I'm going to put this Hidden Strings on my Niv-Mizzet, because that means post combat I'll be able to untap. Let's Veilgut Recovery. Get back. Hidden Strings. And I'm going to cast the Shimmer. This is so good. Okay, let's attack with the Niv. So now they go to 12 life. And I'm going to cast this and tap these. Winning with 1 copy of Lotus Field, and they said it couldn't be done. Play Brawl. Hidden Strings. But yeah, our opponent's so dead. Okay, Pour the pages. Tap. for this Lotus Field. And a concession. 3-1, 1 round left to go. Fading Hope looked really good here. Yeah, I'm sure by now you're starting to become a believer. Who knew Unsummon was so powerful, am I right? I'll see you in match number 5. I've made a huge mistake. Referring to my previous rounds, I just realized that when I was doing the whole boarding in Wish, or board out Wish for Niv-Mizzet plan, I think I forgot to board in Lotus Field. We still won those matches 2-0 when I did it. But, well, I guess one of them was burned, so that's not true. But I won one of them, and I think I forgot to board in Lotus Field. When you're doing the boarding in Wish thing, you're supposed to board in Lotus Field. I'm just a big dummy and didn't. So make sure you're boarding in Lotus Field when you're boarding out Wish. I just want to call that out there. I think I forgot to, at least last round. I don't remember about the burn matchup. I have no clue what our opponent's playing, but I'm going to keep. You were probably watching it screaming, Bryant, board in Lotus Field. Bryant, board in Lotus Field, and I just didn't do it. So I apologize. It just slipped my mind. And we're facing the red-green aggro deck by the looks of it. Showcasing a little bit of what the format has to offer here. I don't have access to Lotus Field at the moment, but that's fine. That's the turn. Next turn we can play Brawl, plus cycle Vizier to help dig. Scavenging Ooze. Not nice. So now if I cycle the Vizier, I get punished. I think I just want to play Brawl. Okay, we're just looking for Lotus Field. I will gladly block with my Great. If they have like a Lightning Strike or something, they could kill Brawl plus, or they could have Gore Clan Rampager. All right. There's Field. That was a good one. Do the Field, and next turn we can try to go for it. We have here. I'm an aggro deck too. Take it. They put the land into play tapped, attacking for eating their own Gore Clan. Peer into the abyss. Not quite. I think I'm supposed to cycle here. I don't want to pump up their ooze, but I need to do something. And if I try to bail get it back, they're just gonna eat it. So like that's not great. And that's the game. Great. So let's hidden strings on. I can even put the hidden strings on my Brawl. I'd love to cipher. Because I can't go to my graveyard with ooze. Alright, so let's cast Wish. Black and Peer targeting me. My opponent has conceded. Alright. So once again, we're going to be boarding in Fading Hope here. Let's also try to board in Lotus Field this time. How do we feel about that? Good? So let's sort by mana value. And I know that it's like weird to be boarding out Wish, but like I don't think it's unreasonable if you're boarding in a bunch of cards to lower your curve against the aggro deck. So I'm going to board out one Brawl again, board out one Peer. And I definitely didn't board in Lotus Field because last time I was at an even 60 after that. So now we have to board out one more card. I think you can probably board out like a Spire Bluff because our red cards now are just our win conditions. You could also like think about boarding out a Blast Zone or even a Ketria. I think it's probably Ketria because we want to be fast in this matchup, and that's what Spire Bluff allows, where this is just another tap land. So I think I'm fine. You could also board out a Grazer, but I think I like the blocking aspect here. Alright, so remember to board in your Lotus Field, kids, fans, Storm Fanatics. Right, we have 2 lands. No access to Lotus. I think that this is a mulligan. It's just too clunky. Much better. Much better. And I think it's actually Brawl that goes on the bottom. So one of the reasons why I put Brawl on the bottom is when you look at how games tend to play out, you play your land, you eventually copy stage, or you copy your Lotus Field to stage. If you cycle Vizier first, you end up with 2 extra mana. That 2 extra mana can be used to hidden strings. So if I really need to be fast, Vizier plus hidden strings are both amazing. I need this Shimmer to find another land or an action spell. So you don't want to bottom that, which means that Brawl is the weakest card in the hand. And Lenora. That's good. So that means I don't need to draw a land anymore, and I can use the Shimmer to help find our payoff spell. So Appear into the Abyss, or the pages, something like that. Gruul Spellbreaker, sure. Draw. Alright, so it looks like we have a turn 4 right now. Shimmer. Fading Hope's not amazing here. I could take another Strings, but is mana or choke point anymore? I'm not sure. I don't think it is. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is take the Fading Hope. So if they play a big creature, I can bounce it and buy some time. Because we just have a turn 4 if I live long enough and draw an action spell. And Fading Hope can be used to bounce Llanowar Elves or something else to scry. Okay. So Shimmer was a good hit. Let's Shimmer. Take another Shimmer. Play Lotus Field. And now next turn I can copy Stage and use Fading Hope, like I mentioned in the deck tech. Was this like a collected company? Why did you leave 4 lands? Alright, so you just needed a 5th land for a big spell. Or a 4th land for a big spell. Interesting. What are you holding open? Why didn't you attack last turn with the Llanowar Elves? Why does 4 mana matter to you? I don't understand. And am I dead? Double attack his command? Is that what this is? It was exact lethal. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. I did not see that coming. Sure. Like, what am I gonna do there? I was supposed to play the Shimmer. I don't think you're supposed to play around double Atarka's command there. It's fine. This hand's so close. Why doesn't it have a second land? Ah, if this was a land, this hand would be amazing. I think I need them all. Just gotta be more practical. This hand's fine. Bottom one of the Balagads. So turn 1 Bark Channel. Play Grazer. Put the Blast Zone into play. Turn 2, he's Sylvan Scrying for Stage, play Lotus Field. So what we're looking for out of this hand is a payoff like here or Pore. Draw. Scrying. Go get Stage. Build. Sacrifice these 2. And I can always Balagad back the Blast Zone if I need. Burning Tree Emissary, okay. You're a hyper aggro deck. Block there. Maybe I need to Balagad it back. I'm just going to copy this and hope to draw Pier. Next turn, I can always Balagad back the Blast Zone. Maybe take them off Elvish Mystic. Is this an Atarka's command? Yep. Okay. Draw. Hell yeah. Here we go. 4. Ding! So, it might be crazy. I think I'm supposed to discard Niv here. I need to think about it. That can't be right. Nah, I'm going to discard the bat. So I was thinking, like, am I supposed to do this? And I think the answer is just no. Because I was like, well, I can Balagad back the strings to make sure that I have a bunch of mana, but I think like I just have enough mana. I don't need to do any of those cute. So here, I think we can do something pretty cool though. So I have 5 mana here, 6 mana. Okay, so that's 11, 12. Oh, it costs 13 to do it. I'm 1 mana short. Yeah, I'm 1 mana short. 10 plus 6. I'm sorry. 7 plus 6 is 13. So I was thinking I could play Niv-Mizzet, Balagad back the hidden strings, and then Pure with no mana floating for lethal. Don't think I have enough. 7 mana plus. No, that is it. I have enough. That's 13. I just can't count. Okay, so Niv-Mizzet, this is going to be super cool. Balagad recovery, get back the hidden strings. Auto yield. Sorry, counting's very difficult. Has anyone ever told you that? Like, it is very difficult to do basic arithmetic. All right, and now we hidden strings, and we're just gonna machine gun our opponent here. Yes, yes, no, and now, kablamo. You're targeting me. Way better than Veilcut Awakening. Just blat, 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 blat. Look at all those triggers. The 4-1. We got it. All right, and if you look at our matches, we only lost to the red deck game 3 where I never drew a Fading Hope. So Fading Hope had a pretty big impact here, in my opinion. And especially if you can remember to board in your Lotus Field, you'll do better than I did. Because I'm pretty sure I forgot both times, but I'm not going to go back and watch the tape. So as you can see here, the upgraded deck list is certainly good. Fading Hope was amazing. For Mystical Dispute was really good in the Phoenix matchup. It was something I really missed in the PTQ when I was playing those stupid ley lines. So don't play ley line. Just play 4 copies of Mystical Dispute. You don't need a bunch of cute wish targets. This is really the only package you need, in my opinion. Like, you really want a small condensed wish package. And you'll see that's also how I build my sideboard with the Epic Storm and Legacy. Well, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you. But as a special treat, let's crack these packs. These chests, I should say. Anything good? These all look bad to me. I guess I got a needle. Blooming Shaman. That card was good when I was a kid. That's none of these are good. Maybe Kaya's were something. Probably not. So, well, thanks for watching anyway. I do appreciate you. Keep storming. Have a great day. All that good stuff. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.